Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of How to Program in Java. And in the last video we went over some basic um, things you need to know how to program in Java. So just we went over scope and everything, and if hopefully you understood a lot of that. So we're going to look into text output, and we pretty much already have a basic general idea of how to do that, pretty sure, as we have found here. So let's just go over it again. So we have system out print line. So again, whatever we type in here within these quotation marks is going to come up here. So what do we got here? We have something that's called, we're calling something, which is the printout function, right? And then we're giving it a parameter, and that's what these parentheses are. So whatever we put in these parentheses is what it's gonna put in its function. And then these quotation marks are a string. That's a string, so we can put whatever we want. But there's other things you can do. So I'm gonna call this on the line right here. And instead of print line, we're going to do print. Okay, and you're going to see why this is different. So the difference between print and print line is that print will just print everything, in one line. So this is actually useful, but in this case we don't need it. I'm just showing you that print line will print on the same line. If you don't use print line, I'm sorry. And then you see how I put it back to the original, and it's two lines that say I'm a line. Sorry. So how do we condense this where we don't have to keep doing this? We want to print 3 lines, and we don't want to have to put 3 lines in code. So how do we actually do this? Well, I'm actually going to show you. So there's something called concatenation, and basically concatenation is just a big word for combining. And the way you do it is you have right here a plus, right? And so we wanted to imitate that new print line. All we have to do is /n. So that denotes a new line. So any string can use that, and you probably don't understand what you'll understand in the coming videos. So we wanted to print I'm a line again, and then concatenate a new line, and then one more I'm a line. And there's actually a way easier way to do this, but I'm just giving you the simple. So what do we have here? We have I'm a line plus new line plus I'm a line plus new line plus I'm a line. So that's how you take 3 lines of code into one. And some people prefer it like that, some people prefer it the other way, but I'm just saying if you want to, that's an example. It does the same thing. That's an example of concatenation. So sometimes when we're adding so many, and this is generally when we're adding so many items together, it gets confusing to look at when we're in here. So this little thing you can do, you can press enter where these plus, where the plus is, where you find these plus, and as long as this parentheses closes and you have the semicolon, it's going to work just the same. So this actually can make it way easier to look at and manage for certain things. So I just wanted to show you that. So that's basically, I just gave you 2 big things you're going to be doing concatenation, as this is going to be a big thing you're going to do in new line, because that makes things a lot easier. Um, but that's not all that's not all you're restricted to with text output, because again, we're going to be making console utilities, so text output is going to be the biggest thing to tell you that we're actually doing something behind the scenes. But you can take what you learned in this series and you can make graphical programs. It's just going to basically give you knowledge on how to make back end the code. So you're not going to understand what this is. Don't feel like you don't know what you're doing. You don't even have to type this out. I'm just going to show you because we're going to get into this in another video. But we have here a number, and I'm going to do system.out.println, and instead of putting these quotation marks, I'm going to just put number in here. And you're going to see something that's going to be really useful for when you're making programs. Let's say you have a program in it, and every time there's a change in a number, it tells you something, and then it puts a $sign before it. You would go about putting a print line and then your number, because it can print numbers as well, not just strings. So that's going to be something you're gonna probably like later on. You can also create strings by themselves, and we'll go over that in another video, but you can create strings by themselves, and then you can call those strings in here like this. It's really easy. You see, there we go. 3. You can also do it with something that's called Boolean, and Boolean is like, just think of true or false. So I'll just put that. I'm sorry. Pizza. Okay. You see? And then it returns what the value is, whether it's true, and I'm going to set this to false. It's going to return false. So those are things you can do with text output, and I'm going to show you. Let's change this pizza to int. Why not? And instead of false, let's put a number. So let's put 9. And let's put right here, we learned already about concatenating and the basic thing with quotation marks being strings, right? So let's put something in here. Let's put toppings. And then let's concatenate with pizza. And let's run it. And now it says in the text, its output says toppings 9. So you see how this can be really useful to make some kind of like count or something. Because remember, we're going to get over the whole types thing, but you can name a number. You can name, like for example, I'm just going to show you, if you've done geometry and pi is well, hold on. You're not going to know what this is, but we're going to go over that. But pi is 3.14, stuff like that. And you know how you would go in math and you have the pi symbol. That's pretty much the same thing. It's called a variable. You can name something you store, and that's going to be really useful for if you're making a bank software and you store a percent, and then when you want that certain value, that calculation, it just does whatever value you put in times that number. I'm not trying to sound like that's what we're going to do, but that's something you can do, and it's really easy. And again, you can put it in a text string. Anyway, that's all there is for this video. Thank you for watching, and in the next video we're going to go over strings and show you a little more advanced things you can do with strings, because they're going to be very important later on. Anyway, thank you for watching this video, and goodbye.